Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. Before we start this video, let me just first tell you, I love my job. I'm a full-time game developer, I've been doing it since 2004 and I still love creating worlds and just creating and coming up with ideas for those worlds and then creating them and then completing it and letting other people enjoy those worlds. I love that part of game development. However, as part of my job, there's also a lot of stuff that I don't love as much, like all the business type things and of course all the pressure of releasing a game and then it needs to sell, and those type of things can really make it very hard to do game development as a full-time job. And recently, in a recent couple of weeks, I rediscovered how much fun it is to do it as a hobby. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you might actually prefer to keep this stuff as a hobby and don't pursue it as a full-time job. And I thought that would be a great idea for this week's video. After the intro. Alright, so my main gig is still working on Regulator City. I should show it somewhere on the screen. I started this game in April 2021, I think. Did a lot of stuff in between, had Residual that needed launching, had to port it and do a bunch of other games and things in between. So somewhere this year we will come up on the 2-year development time thingy, which is insane. That's very long. I usually don't work on my games that long, but this game had struggles and rough patches in it. But I pushed through and it's still in development and it's becoming pretty cool. That also brings a lot of stress because this game will have to make money. The games I create is pretty much how we pay all the bills to live in this house and to eat food and to have electricity and water and all those things. So there is a lot of stress on every game, and every day I work on my game I have to turn off that stress because I have to ignore it and just keep working on the game and focus on that, because else it's gonna be a mess. So there's a lot of stress that comes with creating games full-time as your job. And in recent weeks I've been tinkering with another side project, and I've shown it a couple of times in recent videos, but I've only been tinkering with this in my off time. So on a lazy Sunday I just might spend a couple of hours in the afternoon working on it while watching a movie or watching a TV show. It's not very focused, and during the evenings, during the week, every now and then I spend an hour, maybe two, also while watching, so very low focus. I tinker with this game and it makes the game or working on the game very different and very pleasant, and I came up with a couple of interesting points that could be a good reason to keep game development as a hobby instead of a full-time job. So the most obvious one is of course less pressure. I made a list, it's one of those videos. The less pressure on the result. Right now it's just a hobby project, I'm working on it. Every now and then show a little bit to you guys, but I haven't done anything else with it. I haven't shown it to the world. It's just tinkering with it. There's no pressure on what this game has to be or when it has to be done or anything like that. And that's a relief. I can just work on it, and if I have less focus one day, I have less focus and I don't do a lot. And if I want to do a lot, I do a lot, but there's no pressure on having to do that. And when I'm working on Regulated City or my main project, I have to do stuff every day. I can't just sit there and watch YouTube all day or do other stuff or TV shows or movies. I have to focus on the game and I have to make sure that there's progress so that it's not a wasted day, because a wasted day still costs money. So less pressure on these type of projects, hobby projects, is a lot of fun. My cats are now moving the camera. Come on, Loki. I'm also less strict on the work hours I put into this game or how much focus I have for this game. Usually when I'm working on it, I'm sitting on the couch. We have a TV show or a movie on and cats around me, and sometimes cats want to sit on my lap and then I'll just put away my laptop. There's no pressure. I can just relax, and if I don't get anything done, that's fine as well. Then we'll just try it again tomorrow or maybe next week. And being less strict mostly on myself, which I usually am with my main project, it's very nice. Now the time I do put into these games, I also work differently than on my main project. I work in very tiny bite-sized type thingies. So during dinner I might come up with the idea of working on the game later tonight. but I won't have much time. I might have an hour, and then of course with TV and everything, that turns into 30 minutes of actual work, maybe even less. I have to come up with something that I can do in those 30 minutes. So everything I do is based on very tiny features or tiny changes or just very tiny things being added to the game. Nothing big, no major interface changes or big interface classes. I'm just really working with, a lot of times I'm copy pasting existing code from my previous projects and then just spaghetti it all into the new project. I did this back in the day as well on my games. This is how I created games, but then I started creating bigger and bigger and bigger games. And now I'm back to this small game that has just very concentrated, a little amount of time put into it, but really focused on what has to be done. And yeah, I think I can't say it enough, but it feels really good doing it as a hobby. I'm also less worried about what people think of this game and how it will perform in sales and commercial terms. Right now, of course, in the back of my head, it's for me still a business, and there is some business ideas going on there. So I am keeping all those aspects in my mind. I want to be able to port this game to mobile and to consoles and have all those things up and running and working. I want to make something that will at least appeal to people, obviously. So there are some business thingies going on in my head, but I'm pushing them away mostly. I'm just creating something that I enjoy tinkering with. And I'm less concerned about the end result right now. With Regulated City, I'm constantly thinking, this isn't fun, this should be better, this should be better, this should be different. People are not gonna like it like this, they want it like that. With this project, I'm not thinking about those things. I'm just creating what I like and tinkering with it, and we'll just see what happens. That's also, again, a relief of doing it as a hobby. There is no stress, there is no feeling of having to create something that's going to be amazing and very well received. If people don't like it, so be it. It's just been a couple of evenings here and there, a couple of Sundays. It's not been a huge amount of work so far, and there is less stress of that. I think the biggest difference between doing this as a hobby and doing it full time, you don't need to make money from it, and the end result isn't that important. I mean, you still want to create a great game, but it's less important that everybody else thinks it's a great game. And of course, it will be great if people do enjoy it once it releases, and somewhere in my head that's always going around. But right now, yeah, if they don't, that's okay. I'll have another project, Regulated City, and I still have that prototype game that has no name, working on it with Haragoshi. There's a lot of stuff coming already. This is just something for me, and just to get back into the mood of creating tiny games and just enjoying it completely again, and not having to think about the business too much. So anyway, this video is not me telling you to not turn this into a full-time job. Contrary, I love my full-time job. Doing it as full-time is great, but there's a lot to say about doing it and keeping it as a hobby. So make sure you want to get into all the stress, and trust me, there's a lot of stress coming at you. If this becomes your full-time job, you need to make a living out of it. There's a lot that comes with it, business-wise, stress-wise, and all those things. So make a good decision when you're about to change from hobby to full-time. That's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below if you're a hobbyist or a full-time developer. Do you agree with the things I said, or do you think I'm full of BS? Which is very possible, because this is YouTube. So drop it in the comments below, and I'll see you next week. Nikki says bye. Say bye to the camera. No? Bye camera. Yeah, close enough. Ooh. Yeah, we have 5 cats. In case you hadn't noticed, we have 5 cats. I haven't shown them all because I can't find them. I think there's one there and 2, yeah. 5 cats. If you have a lot of stress in your life, get a couple of cats. Say bye to the camera now. Say bye to the camera. Bye to the camera. No? Bye. Bye. Bye camera.